Okay, chapter 3.8, add decimals. All right, this is a pretty easy lesson. And I'm just going to show you real quick what to do. We're going to just do the math, okay? When you're working on a decimal, when you're adding them, sometimes you want to estimate and then add, or add and then estimate to check your work. For instance, they use rainfall. We've been having some rain lately, and if you measured the rain for an hour and you got 2.35 centimeters of rain that you collected, and then you measured in another hour and you got 1.82 centimeters of rain, and you wanted to add those two together to see your total rain amount. Now you might estimate, you might say, well, this is about 2 plus, this might round 1.82 might round up to 2. So we should get an answer that's close to 4. Okay, that's how that works. And that's our estimate. We can just think about our whole numbers. This is a little more than 2. This is a little less than 2. So we go 2 plus 2 is 4. And then we start with actual adding. And we're going to start with the hundredths. Add the hundredths first. 5 hundredths plus 2 hundredths is 7. Now, for over here in the tenths place, we have more than 10. 8 plus 3 is more than 10. So we have to regroup. We take 10 of those and put them over here in the ones. And that leaves us with 1, because 8 plus 3 is 11. That's 10, which makes 1 whole, plus the 1 that's left over. Okay, 8 plus 3 is 11, so you just carry the 1 over. Make sure that everything is lined up, including your decimals. And then add your ones place. 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. So our answer is 4.17, or 4 and 17 hundredths, and our estimate was 4, so that makes sense. Those work. Okay, that's basically what we're doing today, and you're going to do this over and over again. They're going to ask you to estimate, then they're going to ask you to find the sum. You have to be able to interpret some word problems as well, but if you understand what we're doing, we're adding. We're not subtracting generally here. We're adding decimals. For instance, 9.6 plus 5.49. Now they might do it this way, and you'll have to rewrite it in a vertical format to actually solve. But if we estimate first, 9.6 is about 10. And 5.49 actually rounds down to 5, but that would equal 15. So our estimate is going to be around 15. Okay, so we'll go ahead and rewrite this 9.6 plus 5.49. And again, you have to make sure you line up your decimals so that your 9 and your 5, these are both in the ones place, they're lined up, and your 6 and your 4 are both in the tenths place, and they're lined up. Now, this is a little strange. We don't have anything here. There are no hundredths here, and there are hundredths here. So if you want to, it would be okay for you to add a 0 just to make sure everything looks the same, because adding to a 0 to the end doesn't actually change this number. Okay, and then we go ahead and add 0 plus 9 in the hundredths place. 6 plus 4 in the tenths place actually makes a nice round 10, and that 1 is going to come up to the ones place. 9 plus 1 plus 5 is 15. So we got 15.09, and that works with our estimate. Okay, let's do another one real quick. Just one more, and then we'll move on to the cartoon. We're going to go real quick because this is easy stuff. I think you guys know how to do this. 9.84 plus 21.52. Now again, if I write it like this, it doesn't work. This 2 actually stands for 20, and that's the tens place, and I've got it lined up with 9, which stands for 1, and my decimals aren't lined up. So I wanted to show you that you have to make sure everything matches. The place values match. I don't even remember the number that I just, 0.52, the number that I just erased. So 9 and 84 hundredths plus 21 and 52 hundredths. So again, there's no 0 here. You don't need to add it. In fact, especially here, you don't really need to, because that kind of looks weird, 09. You can add it. It doesn't hurt. It's just going to hold that place value. 4 plus 2 6. 8 plus 5 is 13. And that extra tenth, those 10 tenths are going to carry over here to the ones place. Write your decimal in. 9 plus 1 is 11. And this time we're going to carry 1 over to the tenths place too, because it's 11, which means 11 is more than 10 ones. So we've got to put 1 in the tenths place and leave 1 1. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So 31.36. We didn't do an estimate here, so you can come back afterwards and do an estimate just to make sure it makes sense. 9.84 is 10, and 21.52 is 11, actually 12. That would make 32. 10 and 12, sorry. Whoa, I did that wrong. Let's go back. It's not 12. 21.52 actually runs up to 22, which would make 32. 10 plus 22 is 32. This is relatively close to that. It might be that you want to do a simpler estimation and just round to the tens place here. 21 rounds down to 20 if you're rounding to the tens place, and that makes 30. So getting 31.36 also kind of makes sense. It just depends on how you want to do it. Your estimate should make some sense with what your answer is. Okay? All right, now I think that's enough. You can figure out the assignment, and I always am trying to make these shorter so that you don't have to listen all night. So again, I'm going to draw you a little picture. You can watch, or you can go away. I was out in my garden the other day, and I came upon something really strange, and I want to draw it for you. It was this really weird looking creature, and it was purple, which is kind of the weird part, and it had these little tentacles like that. There's one tentacle, and then there was another one over here, and each tentacle had this giant eye on it. It was a little scary to behold, and it had this giant shell on its back. Why, do you know what it is? Yeah. It was this ginormous snail living in my garden. And I think it was radioactive because it was not only purple, but it had these green spots on it. And it had just a little bit of a pink. Ooh, that didn't work. Command Z. I'm not going to color that in. It had this pink shell, but we're going to leave that alone. And its tentacles were blue. Can I get that to work? Almost. And it was just scary to look at. It's so scary that I guess I'm going to be blue today. I'm not sad, though. Don't worry. There we go. Okay, this is me, and usually I'm smiling, but today I've got this expression. Yeah. And I'm doing something really kind of silly with my legs. I'm doing that with my legs, and with my arms I'm doing this, and with my mouth I'm saying ah, and I'm thinking, where did I put my giant salt shaker? I've got to kill this guy. All right, have a nice day.